Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, November 18th, 2016 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I trust the power of my gut. And today this is what we want to really get into. We're finishing up Sun in Scorpio. So we're finishing up this energy which tunes us into like our root chakra. It tunes us into that deep inner intuition. It's not the la 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 intuition up here. It comes from deep within. And we're also finishing up Neptune retrograde. So Neptune is going direct later in the day tomorrow, and Neptune has been retrograde since June. So what have you learned since June? What have you learned in these last 5 months? What kind of karmic situations have come up for you to be unwound and work through? And you may find that now as Neptune begins to finish up its retrograde and begin the process moving forward, that there are some things that you've been working on since June that are suddenly like, oh, I'm done. I don't feel that energy pull with that anymore. I learned my lesson. That being said, Neptune is making a interesting connection today. We have Mercury in Sagittarius, which wants to know that which is true. It wants to sort it out, understand. And it's squaring Neptune, finishing up this retrograde in Pisces. And Neptune can, it can be more of that intuition that's out here. It's not as based in the body, in that gut. And so coming back into that gut resonance, that gut energy will help you sort out that which is true. The body never lies. The body knows what's really going on. So if you can tune in within, then you can get answers that you're not necessarily going to get out here, or that can get foggy and clouded out here. It can be a little esoteric in here. When the body is able to lay it down. This feels good. This is a yum. This feels bad. This is a yuck. Be willing to listen to that gut voice and let that gut energy be what leads you. In this as well, one of the things that comes up around this is the energy of authority and the energy of religion, and how so often we give our authority away in the name of religion or in the name of school and teaching. And so this may be a time to bring in some of that energy, work with some of this energy, work with some of this final Scorpio energy, and look at those places where you have given that power away, where you've given the authority of your knowing away. Like, I'm going to believe this because this person that I have put into authority has told me. This may be an opportunity to kind of shift that. Oh, wait, that no longer feels like a yes to me. And that's what I'm asking you to look for, are those things that are the yes within you, that there's no question. Honor those things, and it can help sort out the other things that are a little bit more confusing. Speaking of confusing, Moon is finishing up in Cancer today. So Cancer energy can bring up the emotions. We've been working through this. It also can tune to the past, because Cancer sometimes gets really connected to and attached to energies of the past, that which is familiar, that which can be comfortable. So as we're working with Scorpio, which is asking us to break through and embrace our power and release these old things, that Cancer is like, oh, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to let that go. And it can bring up this kind of energy. If you are feeling that push and pull with something, it may be that you have some processing to do. So I have these cards. I've got the sorrow card. I've got the isolation card, and both of these have these tears being shed, the feels being processed. To get out of this place of that indecision, like I don't really know, you may have to go through that process. But I also have the healing card and the breakthrough card. So this is very available to you if you're willing to spend that time being in the feels. The moon is actually beginning the day in Cancer, connecting to Uranus, and Uranus is that breakthrough energy, and it's asking us again to come back within and expand the vibration of our I am. So coming back into you, getting into that gut energy is really going to help. The sun and the moon are also meeting at 27 degrees, that 9 energy, that fire energy. So tuning into the yes, tuning into the passion, tuning into your base intuition, and not like flying away out of your body is going to be so strong for you in this process. We then have the moon shifting into Leo, bringing forth the inner child, bringing forth creativity. And it's interesting because we began the Scorpio process this year with the moon in Leo. And are we finishing it with the moon in Leo? Or is the moon going to shift before we finish it? Yeah. We are basically finishing up, almost completely finishing up with the moon in Leo. So sun in Scorpio, moon in Leo. And this moon in Leo energy with the sun in Scorpio can bring out the shadow elements of the inner child. These are part of what may need to be addressed for you to fully get into your power, because it's like moving that child who's like screaming no, you know, like you want to go to the grocery store and the child's like, no, no. Get in there with that child and be present with that. And also see where maybe some of this old stinking thinking, the old patriarchal way of thinking, or whatever that you've been taught that no longer resonates with that passion, that no longer feels that yes for you, or that may have been this karmic situation, see where you can then release that. So I'm going to start with this card before I show you my Tantric Dakini card. This card, I have Puss in Boots. And I was like, oh, for the moon in Leo. And it's talking about wit, but one of the things that it mentions in here is the animal totem. And this is one of the things that has been coming up actually a lot in the last few days in readings and things, is, you know, we're all animals. So tapping into your animalistic nature helps you tap into the gut instinct, helps you tap into that which is deeper within you and know when there is that yes energy. So that's what I got from this card, is like tapping into your inner animal and letting your inner animal show you how to grow and expand and be in your power. And speaking of inner animals, I love this card. I have Dangerous Pussy. Literally, that is what this card is called. I'm not making that up. Dangerous Pussy and the Past. And it says, this is a potent initiation to examine your heart, to be ready for sudden insights coming through. This is the raw feminine primal energy, which is so roots and sacral chakra. And it's being brought forward so that we can step into our power, the power of our inner animal. So the time is now to get in there. Seize that animal energy, seize the power of your gut, and move forward with that place, releasing this stuff which is of the past. So that's it for today. Book a reading. I have my reading sale going, 25 minutes for $30. You can get that at GaiaBlooming.com, or you can always email me, mimiclark@gmail.com, if you have any questions. That is it for today. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow.